Hey there, and welcome back to the Lighthouse of Lunacy. And in the last video, we spoke to her, and we presented pretty much everything. Well, everything, every single thing, because that's just what we do here. And talked about Lillian and Aurelia. So now it's time to talk about investigation progress. Which, there's still a ways to go in this game. We're still only on Act 2. I didn't check how many acts there were, but there's definitely, a lot. I just had to take a quick glimpse when I was loading up Act 2. Anyway. Talk to her, and then we've got somewhere else to examine, and then that should be it for this investigation. Unless we're allowed down into the lower levels, which will be interesting to see, because we've been in these same few hours for a while now. Let's get this over with. You clearly won't leave again otherwise. You're not wrong. What are you still looking for here? For starters, I'm looking for the key to this room. There has unfortunately been no progress on that front, however. It does bother me. The key is a metallic object which should make it easy to locate. I'm forced to conclude someone managed to remove it from this room in secret. Why would anyone do that, though? To cast some doubt on the case against Miss Chase, perhaps? Guess we should be grateful to our mysterious key thief. I doubt that's all you're still here for. Your case looks to be going pretty smoothly even without explaining that. Correct. The real reason I resumed investigating is related to the mania caused by the last witness. Victoria Preston wants to establish this so-called ghost of Dr. Lead had no way of killing the victim. Heh, so Victoria got spooked after all. Isn't that kind of a literal long shot though? Apparently her concern is that Aurelia Chase will try suggesting a certain asinine theory. This man was sighted on the floor below the crime scene. If he shot the ceiling, the bullet might have penetrated the floor and hit someone inside this room. She came up with that? I'm shook. But wait, there's no way that could actually have happened, right? I mean, I was thinking of this solution, but only because in a different fan case, I would spoil which one, because this is sort of the crux of that case. But you'll know it if you've played it. I think. I should think. You might have forgotten. I had to play a lot more. I had to replay a lot more games. Actually, there's ones that I can't remember. I might actually replay them on the channel. But wait, there's no way that could actually have happened, right? Of course not. Calling it asinine theory is appropriate in this instance. For starters, the floor contains reinforced concrete. This isn't a lodge with old wooden floorboards. Shooting a bullet through it? Objectively unthinkable. Still, she insists I check if there are any holes present in the floor. She's a funny one. She's a funny one? There's no way you'd have missed something like that. Well... Wait, no way! You realise how much I had to rush in this investigation? As it appears, there are some oddities in this floor. I've discovered not only one, but two holes. What the heck? Then that shot might have actually happened. Let me finish my findings before you jump to conclusions. These holes do not penetrate all the way to the lower floor. My analysis shows both of them only extend into the floor for roughly 15 centimeters. The diameter is around 12 millimeters. It's no surprise I missed them because they have always been filled up with a resin of photopolymers. First of all, this is America. Well, Japan America anyway. So what is that metric bullshit right there? And secondly, you're using words that are too long for me to understand. In addition, a small carpet piece with fibres matching the carpet was glued on top of both holes. I joke, but, you know, photopolymers, I'm not really sure what they are. I know polymer is a kind of material, and photo means light, so, like, I don't know, it's a glow or something? So a small carpet piece with fibres matching the carpet was glued on top of both holes. Huh? Given the carpet's thickness, this perfectly concealed damage from view. So somehow 2 holes were made in the floor and then fixed up later? No matter how you look at it, that's fishy as heck. It could be something that happened a long time ago. There's no evidence that this is related to the case. Although, one of the holes is directly underneath where the body was found. The other is about 2.5 meters west of the first. The victim's upright position before the shot would have been precisely between both of these holes. That's even more suspicious! Only Aurelia Chase would have had the chance to cover up these holes after the fact. During the discovery, anyone else should easily have been spotted doing so. What about you? Right. Okay, maybe they're not related. At least pretend to argue in earnest. Okay, I have one last question. What the heck is a resin of... What the heck's a resin of proto-proxies? Okay. I was half right. She doesn't understand this. Photopolymers. Would you like the long version or the short version? I'll take the short version. Definitely the short version. Short version. You didn't even attempt to think about it. Details are overrated. Ain't nobody got time for that. The gist is all you need. Photopolymers is a general term for resins that change their properties. Okay, one question. What is a resin? We're gonna have to do the long version, aren't we? When exposed to UV or visible light. What's UV? Oh my god. Have you ever been outside in the sun? Oh, I missed whatever that dialogue was. I'll just go back. I actually do want to know. There are several mechanisms that can be employed, such as ionic or free radical potential. The short version? That was intended to be the short version. I didn't feel like it was gonna be. Subjectively. Just tell me what they do, not how they work on a molecular level. Fine, if it's truly enough to satisfy you, I suppose it's objectively faster. We don't want the little details. We're big picture thinkers here. Photopolymers harden very quickly in response to certain parts of the light spectrum. They're popular in various industries as an effective sealant for cracks and leaks. You might have heard of 3D printing. They're used in that as well. Stuff that gets hard fast when out in the open. Got it. You could have just fucking said that from the beginning. It's highly doubtful you do, but if you're content with this quality of information, so be it. Provide the diagram that you presented in court, please. Whoa, you're gonna note the exact position? That's so nice. I don't think this means I'm on your side. This is merely for the sake of accuracy. Holes have been added to the court record. Oh, well, soon they'll be. Oh, they're here. 2 holes were hidden in the study floor. They have a depth of about 15 centimeters and diameter of 12 millimeters. Does it say how big the bullet is? In the autopsy, maybe? Nope. But anyway. One was discovered directly below the victim, the second 2.5 meters to the west of it. They were filled with photopolymers, a resin that quickly hardens when exposed to light. Carpet fibers were placed on top to conceal them from view. Oh, well, she's marked on this separate icon, but... So, one of them's right by the TV, and one of them's underneath the body. I have no clue what these are going to be used for, but hopefully by the time I need to present this, just one's testimony, it'll become clear. By the way, don't your gadgets include a 3D printer? They do. Are you trying to assess me as a suspect? Yes! You're fucking guilty! I'm calling it now! I mean, this photosynthesis material doesn't sound like something anyone would just have. You know what, if Lillian really can read minds, why don't you just ask everyone if they're the killer? They say, no. And then one of them's gotta be lying. You know. One of them. Probably him. Who's also him. But, you know. It could also be someone else. Not ruling anyone out yet. Not even Aurelia. Even though she's the obvious one. Not even her. Well, maybe her, because I think we already proved it wasn't suicide. Because of something here. Maybe. See, nobody could have covered these holes. You've got totally free reign at the scene right now. Objective nonsense. If I covered up these holes, then why would I be telling you all about them? Mind games? Do you really think I choose to do something that erratic? Unlikely, I guess. But not impossible. She isn't giving me any culprit vibes. I'll leave it at that. Time to check out some of the place. I'm not even ruling out Lillian, you know? I mean, she's got the power to freeze time. She could have used that to, you know, get in there and shoot. Maybe. Anyway. With that, I think everything's done here. So, we've been to the crime scene. Go to the display room. The Lighthouse of Lunacy. Display room. If I have time, I might record 2 episodes tonight because I missed an episode last week. So I might actually upload 2 episodes this week. We've got to get through this game. But what is going on here? Whoa, it's freezing. Welcome to April. Throws you back into winter when you least expect it. Can't we go somewhere else? You already went over this room. I doubt you'll find anything here. Not worth it. Nah, stop being such a baby. This rarely isn't the time to do the opposite just to spite. I can see you're clearly freezing just as much. Getting used to it now. Besides, there's still at least one guy who doesn't seem to mind. It's me. What voice did I do for this guy? It's been a while. I might just have to come up with a new voice for him. Well, look who's up to something. He's focused on that puzzle cube in his hands. Is he trying to solve it? What an odd thing to do in this situation. Speaking of Rubik's Cubes, if you've been waiting for the Dark Age Saga, the 3rd case, which is well into development now, we're basically in the end stages of development, there might be a Rubik's Cube involved in that somehow. But the record show, I didn't steal the idea from whatever he's going to do with the Rubik's Cube, Blackrune. Because I'm only just getting to this point now. Nobody gets to point out the hypocrisy of that thought. Gopher, how you doing, my man? Mr. God, a pleasure to see you again. given the circumstances, it's difficult to say I'm doing fine. Relatable, man. You were actually right about the auction being a bad idea. Indeed, I wish it hadn't been so. I see the perceptive young lady is with you. Oh yeah, she keeps following me around today. I felt sorry for her, so I allowed it and helped her out. Excuse me? Where is this help you're talking about? My condolences. It is... No. My condolences. It is quite a difficult situation. It was hard to watch how much you struggled to assist Miss Chase. Your wife, that is. It must be quite painful to see your... Yeah, it really does remember. It must be quite painful to see your wife accused like this. I do know there is a way of carrying variables over across saves, but I wonder what it would say if you just started from Act 2. Or maybe it just wouldn't say anything at all, because it can't really know. Eh? Right, she told him that for some reason. Maybe a little bit. Perhaps a free refreshment may help ease your worries. The cake currently comes with some additional, quite literal frosting. Ahaha, you're killing me, bro. Seeing these two get along ticks me off somehow. Sorry, buddy, I'm not in the mood for playing around any longer. You've got to tell me what you're really doing here. And unfortunately for you, food bribery won't work on me. So, we've got ourselves... We haven't actually had a proper conversation with him since episode 1, and this is episode 12 now, so... And each episode was like an hour long, so... Dude, it's literally been like a full day cycle by now. You're gonna talk to me. But first, we're gonna present everything. I'm warning you, if you're a vampire, I'm prepared. You're under a mistaken impression. I'm unsure how I caused it. You talk about curses and your outfit kind of checks out. All it's missing is a cape. My apologies, but I only... Those sweets lure in helpless maidens. Aurelia proved the point. I guess modern times call for modern means. I assure you, I am but a normal human. Sounds like what a non-human would say. Well, it does feel like he's telling the truth. Totally another vampire trick. Yep, I'm closing in on the twist. Hand over the goods, buddy. Let's not become uncivil. I will give you as many as you want. I don't want your stupid cookies. You better give me some info pronto. I will do my best. Tell me what you want to know. The gun? Duh. Why do you think I showed that to you? Ah, certainly. I'm afraid there isn't much I know about it. It's a common 9mm handgun model. There's nothing notable about it. 9mm, you say? A diameter of 12mm, so not exact fit, but the bullets could comfortably squeeze through. Easy to conceal. I didn't notice she had it when we first met. If it's a common gun, you really can't prove it. You can't really prove it hers, right? It would be easy to establish by submitting a trace request with the serial number. Something that is unfortunately impossible in our situation. And you didn't even see her bring the gun. Ha! Yeah, about that. You and I both know she brought the gun. She admitted as much. Ah, but you don't know if that was this gun. I'm pretty sure it was, man. Pretty sure ain't worth squat. There's no second gun. That dude totally confirmed there is. He only heard a gunshot. He didn't see it. But, well, let's say there was another gun. What's the argument? I call it the gun swap theory. The theory is that her gun was swapped with this one at some point. At some point, huh? Might need to keep working a little more on that. You know what, that doesn't make sense because... fingerprint data. Now, these are the units that touched it, right? But we have someone swap the gun before the murder happens, before it all kicks off. Then, after the murder, they somehow swap the guns back. I think that makes sense. Because that way, the gun that they do swap back will be her original gun with her serial number. And her fingerprints on it. And what obviously they would have to swap the gun before Mr. Nelland touched it though. Unless Mr. Nelland is the one who swapped it. Yeah. Don't know if that's going to be true or not. But it's the best explanation I got so far. You better be ready. I'm onto something. Let me show you your cake. Are you thinking about giving the Cover Strawberry Crisis a try? Very absolutely totally not. This is unfortunate. Let me know if you change your mind. I, for one, am in. Mr. God. Here you go. Oof, the cake faction keeps growing. It's too late to stop them. Sorry, Lillian, I'm not on your side in this one. That cake? Ooh. If I hadn't just had a full meal right now, then my stomach would be going like crazy. Shot in the heart, and you're to blame. A very straightforward cause of death. Why did I show my profile? I showed the autopsy report, and the evidence that appeared in the top right corner was my profile. How odd. It's almost like that's an error in the game or something. Or maybe I'm just, a bit morbid. I'm thinking about my own death while this is all happening. Yeah, that's a good enough explanation. You say that like it's a good thing. This is naturally a tragedy. I didn't mean to imply otherwise. It's merely that I've encountered more uncommon causes of death in the past. The stranger the method, the harder it is to determine the weapon. I was merely relieved that this won't be an issue in this case. Well, one of those would have been convenient now. Like she mysteriously combusted instead? That'd be something. It is indeed impossible to infiltrate the tower by other means, without air support at least. I can assure you I have given it a lot of thought. Man's right, this tower is a fortress. Much easier to handle than some other places I've worked. It's got the official guard seal of approval. As if that counts for much. Hey, I might have skipped some hassles here and there, but I pay attention when it counts. Indeed, I'm going to defend my colleague here. He's generally been very dutiful. Thanks, my man. And before you point it out, nobody cares about a suitcase or two. I'm here to check for people and weapons, and you can bet I did my job with those. Nah, this is Cope, and I hate both of you. Dr. Leeds ninth. You don't happen to know if it was examined closely. Oh, does he know something? You bet, we found a cryptic note inside. I see. What does it mean? My apologies, I have no idea. What? He's not even lying. It felt like he had some suspicion, but now he doesn't? Why does everyone keep having a stupid reactions to this? That's weird. Because, if he is Dr. Lead like I think he is, he wasn't lying about not knowing what that note is. So, someone's plotting something and it's not him, but he was still on the lower floor. So, I don't know. Maybe he's being set up somehow, or someone's trying to expose him, and they had to commit a murder to do it? I don't know. I won't question this is impressive technology, and it is good that we have it on hand. Yes, a Nintendo Switch is the peak of all consoles. There are definitely no errors, glitches, and problems that happen in many of its games. However, it's troubling that this is being thought of as a substitute for the forensics department. I'll take it. These two got one thing right, the cops don't have the best track record. If the autopsy turns out fake, at least we know who to blame here. It's exceedingly difficult to forge such evidence, despite the sensationalized reports. It's a shame public perception has been painted by that spy. He wasn't even a legitimate officer. Nah, that still shows how easily they get played like a fiddle. And it's totally deserved. Their bad investigations caused the dark age of the law to be a thing. This is the thing about the dark age of the law. You know, pretty much anyone who knows anything about the legal system would say it would have been the point where they brought in the initial trial system, which Phoenix says was a few years before he started, where a trial has to end in 3 days. There's no way. And also the fact that you get like a day of investigation before you go on to the full-on murder trial, and the police arrest the first person at the scene, try and get them convicted as soon as possible. But, and even though there was plenty of evidence forging before that from plenty of shady characters, it was Phoenix specifically forging evidence, as well as Blackwell getting arrested for slicing someone up, that caused the dark age of the law. But really, I don't even think that's what they were going for in Apollo Justice, because Phoenix is talking about it in the Darien case. He's like, it's a dark time coming for our legal system. But, you know, even he was implying that there was like the darkness at the root. He was sort of implying that it was becoming more obvious, the inherent problems, and, you know, setting up the jury system in case 4. But, you know, and I know loads of people think Ace Attorney is a legal satire, and it wasn't actually intended that way by the creators, because it was originally supposed to be just a detective game, but because of the plot of Turnabout Sisters, where the detective would have had to defend himself in court, they were just like, well, why not change it to a lawyer? So it wasn't intended as a legal satire, but it definitely turned out as one because of the high conviction rate. Anyway, this was a massive unnecessary tangent, so hope you bear with me there. Anyway, I was triggered by the phrase dark age of the law because the amount of times they say it in Joel Destinies. I suppose that may be so, but let us not dwell on such old matters. Not a pleasant topic for him, eh? What are you doing? I'm coming for your dirty laundry. Hand it over. My apologies. I don't think we're in a position to worry about hygiene. I meant that figuratively, and you knew that. No, I did not. I did not know what sarcasm is. We do not have that in mode version. Oh, I missed some more dialogue. I'm gonna try putting that again. Well, I must disappoint you. There's nothing I can but... Already busted your cover, buddy. That you did. I suppose I have gotten too used to it. Doesn't feel too legit if you need to point it out that often. Well, I'm open to answering what I can. Ask away. The locked door. That was certainly reminiscent of the other cases. You mean that Reaper Kerr story you tried to tell us? Indeed. The incidents so far all took place in an isolated location. It's not normal and expected for everything to be a locked room mystery. I'm shocked. Thankfully, my worries were dispelled. This murder is unrelated to those that plagued this town in the past. Alright, what makes you say that? Well, my apologies, but the culprit appears clear. She was sighted at the scene. It also lacks the supernatural element that the other scenes seem to suggest. While you're conveniently ignoring the fact that one of the witnesses saw a fucking ghost when he was suspended on the, like a sort of lift thing on the side of the tower, which we still don't know the reason why yet. But we can track this guy down, wherever he's run off to, and question him about that. Also, why the hell he had a suitcase in that room. Guess so. There's something he's not telling me. Probably no way to push him to spill it though. He might slip elsewhere. DB! That was a good suggestion by the defendant. Not many people have heard a real gunshot, so the recording may indeed fool them. How about you? Do you think it was fake? Well, I suppose it was too unexpected to tell. My apologies. It did appear too quiet from the distance, but the walls may have muffled it. Shame I wasn't there to hear it. I bet I'd have been able to tell. Shush, you don't get to call yourself competent anymore. Please, I've watched enough movies to know what Hollywood gunshots sound like. It's usually nothing like the real thing. Apologies, but even your trained ears would likely not have been able to tell. But I must confess that I haven't found the time watch any movies in recent years. I haven't found the time watch. You know, the special watch that has the rare ability to tell the time. Well, maybe the time watch does sound like it would be like the name of like a time machine, but then they're like, why are you calling it the time watch? A watch already tells the time. You just find a time for breaks, my man. Well, that time won't be right now, because who knows how much we got left. Who knows how much we got left in this case? I feel like I've barely scratched the surface. Probably because I keep presenting things to everyone, but I can't help myself. Quick! What does this key open? Pardon, I can't help you. A lot of things in this building are kept behind locks. I'm afraid there are many options. Not the key to the locks on his heart, it seems. I imagine even this only scratches the surface of that man's crimes. It is rather curious. The police had been aware of the existence of that organization. However, no proof was ever discovered that pointed to the masterminds. Even BU2, which clearly must have involved them, produced no such evidence. Or did it? Feels like the men kept that to themselves. Perhaps. Regardless, how did the Mir reporter discover such a thing? Face it, y'all just suck. How would you even begin such an investigation as a civilian? It is rather perplexing, if I may be honest. Well, I guess she actually didn't. She told me as much earlier. Which begs the question, who the heck gave her all that info? Oh yes, I've taken a look at the suitcase. Nothing appears to be hidden inside. Still worried someone may steal something? Indeed. It's rather troubling nobody wants to heed my warnings. Well, duh. Only gets me more curious what you're trying to hide. Time to find out if we're on the same wavelength. Oh, that's what the defendant used to further her argument. It was found in this room, yes? Well, yeah, just chilling on the floor like somebody had dropped it. I see. Would you mind if I inspected it? Yes, I would. It's evidence now. Can't just hand this out. Unless you got something of equal value, if you catch my chew. I could trade you a regular fork, food of your choice included. No deal. Why'd I even expect anything? I would offer you 1,000,000 cakes. 1,000,000 cakes. You don't have 1,000,000 cakes. You do not know what I am hiding with my coat. My very thick coat. Ew. We found the holes, you know. It's over. Holes? My apologies, I don't follow. Never mind, wrong accusation. Alright, that was genuine. Seems like he has no knowledge of those. We have lie detection skills. I mean, unless she's lying to us in her thoughts. Kind of morbid, but... Who can we trust? Can we trust anyone? Already a chase. A shame this has come to this. She should have known her limits as a journalist. afraid that something like this was bound to happen sooner or later with such an aggressive approach. That pass does not authorize her to investigate wherever she pleases. I should say wherever she pleases, but it says wherever she pleases. You could also change that to rephrase it to wherever she may please, which would also be valid grammar. Wait, how do you know so much about English grammar? You're Russian. I am a very hard worker. I study hard on Duolingo every day. Wait a minute, are you telling me the Duolingo owl is behind this murder? Oh shit. She wouldn't do something like this without good reason. Regardless, it was still illegal, and no reason could possibly justify this outcome. You don't get it! My apologies, this must be a difficult situation for you as well. Perhaps some tea? It's important to remain calm in times like these. Fine. Just don't think about it. Do your job. It'll all work out. You didn't mess up. She'll make sense again. Eventually. I wonder when. Happy thoughts. La la la. Huh. I feel like the tea's actually helping. But I'm not so cheap to get swayed by that. So that's something else. I cannot condone her enabling Miss Holden's plan. Have you ever heard of this detective organization? Altia. Indeed, they do exist. Let's go! It didn't feel like she was lying, but it's clear she intends to abuse the situation to further their cause. You gotta admit her results are pretty good for her working solo. It is rather hard to deny. It usually takes a day to verify most of these results. That technology is rather impressive. Where did she get that from? Sounds like some genius from Japan made this for her. I wonder why they did that. It should be made available to all public servants. Maybe this is just a beta. Some genius, like, I don't actually know who built the Nintendo Switch. But for the purposes of the joke, I'm gonna say it was Shigeru Miyamoto. That doesn't make any fucking sense. Why would the guy who invented Mario be building the actual consoles? He doesn't want to get his hands dirty. Oh, shut up. Cross your fingers for a future where all murder mysteries are ruined by forensics. Or better yet, we bring in pre-crime. May she rest in peace. Do you really get to say that? You were kind of camping there. Miss Holden and I had our differences. I won't deny she has made my job difficult. There's nothing to hold a grudge over, however. No possible motive? Sad. At least not to do with the case. It's rather regrettable she has taken this step. But you're not too surprised? It may be so. She has a history of doing reckless things. Such as? Wandering around the town at night without a care for her safety. Meeting with individuals of rather questionable reputation. All by herself. Her mother, may she find peace, wants to take risks as well, but much more calculated ones. Guess you're well informed on that. Quit so. I take my job very seriously. The sleeve is that. It's really regrettable she has taken this step. But you're not too surprised. Wait, oh, I already presented it. Oh, hell. I'm afraid I'm not familiar with that lawyer. So, she hasn't been to this place before? Not to my knowledge. Good to know. Makes this coincidence smell even more fishy. We need to talk about this. I suppose there are some things I must inform you about. Not about you, your silly outfit. How the heck do you expect to blend in wearing this junk? I am certain that you dislike it, but it seems to have worked so far. Well, to be fair, you are undercover, so... Really? The people around here must be used to some nonsense then. And let's not forget undercover. That's basically spoilers. I understand your apprehension, but please allow me to explain. These are intentional. Subverting expectations can be very effective. I have found disguises to be much stronger if they don't seem too professional. Reverse psychology is my go-to excuse too. My apologies, it seems I am unable to meet your standards. Well, maybe it's not totally beyond salvaging. Keep the hat, maybe change the star to a different colour though. Gotta ditch the pompous clothes though. Go with a vest instead. Beard's also too obvious. You can keep the glasses, better than shades. Shades? I guess the hair doesn't need to be adjusted, but... So, are we here to gather info or to go clothes shopping? Don't step into this, you don't want me to get started on what I have to say about you. Don't let me be the one to tell you how to spend your time. Yeah, I might have gotten a bit distracted. Maybe. Can't get hung up on stuff that's meant to be Aurelia's job. So he's just straight up admitted he's in disguise right now. Spoiler alert, your name is kind of... Your Honor, I did not kill anyone. Of course, there's no proof. Your Honor, his name is literally Imada Killer. Oh, I see. I will find you guilty because your name is very obvious. You killed victim. To be fair, Ace Attorney does actually have a guy who's actually called Dead Man, so... Oh, it's time for you. Who's the handsome fella? I wasn't asking you, so you don't object to the handsome part. Well, now I will. Should have just taken it. Mr. God has been very delightful company these last few years. He's also one of my best customers, which I appreciate. My man, that's too generous. You never even charged me. Money can't pay for good companionship. Food can, apparently. I'm gonna puke. Alright, will you two just kiss already? Jeez. Alright, now how about being honest? You just wanted to keep tabs on this place. Gotta admit, I'm starting to get some doubts here myself. It's not true, right? Mr. God. Tiramisu with some extra cream? Putting on the heavy gear, I see. Hey, you were right. The Reaper really is haunting this place. In fact, he's probably right in front of me right now. I do not know what you're talking about. Hint, hint, to spoilers, you don't want to spoil things for the lawyer. Indeed, it is rather unbelievable claim. No, you don't get to act all surprised now. You preached this curse, now own it. Which should include telling me all you know about this appearance. I'm afraid I must disappoint you. This is impossible to me as it is to you. After all, the lead has certainly been dead for 5 years. But can you know that for sure? They never found the body. I must correct you on that part. The police did find his body. It was merely never released from custody for unknown reasons. Oh yeah? How do you know? I read the autopsy report. He had been shot once in the chest. A quick but rather certain death. You read the autopsy, or you had it fake written? That feels familiar. Perhaps, but many people are shot in the chest. So there was at least an autopsy. Better than nothing. I wonder what Mr. Nellens intends to do with this building. Now I can imagine how this mistake came about, because I've done similar things before, where it's like, I wonder what Mr. Nellens' intentions are. Well, I better change that to what he intends to do with this building. But I forgot to get rid of the apostrophe. Yeah. I won't hold this against too much Blackrune, because I've made this kind of mistake before. But he's riding up. Is anyone keeping count? He likely meant to find the new Turnabout at the auction, but now... Well, he totally doesn't get to sell it if this kind of stuff keeps happening. That is true. I hope you will realize the maintenance costs are not worth it. This tower should be demolished. That would be the best result for everyone. You got my vote. Screw this place. We will start the work right now. No, wait! Nah! And then the tower just gets launched across the sky. It's the Lighthouse of Lunacy for a reason. Stonks! I'm afraid I do not know what that means, but I'm glad Mr. Dow is alright. My Duolingo course did not teach me this much. He made quite a worried when he collapsed during the trial. Okay, are you supposed to be a second language English speaker? Because with the amount of mistakes that have cropped up, it doesn't seem like it. But these don't seem like typical language mistakes. You're not gonna die from stepping on a piece of wood. Of course you are right. However, Mr. Dow's health clearly isn't in the best state. Even something like this may have posed a risk. True? No, wait a minute. That's a lie? That makes no sense. Mr. Dow was legit when he listed his ailments. How well do you know him? Mr. Dow? All I know is that he was an acquaintance with unknown. He met today for the first time. What the heck? There must have lied here. So he's lying about... Hold on, let me check that again. He's acquainted. We met today for the first time. But he hasn't. So I reckon Jones Dow will reveal that he's met Lead before. And he's met Jones Dow before because he is Lead. But Dow will be like, I have never met Undercover, and he won't be lying because he won't know. Neat, right? I guess he should have followed your advice too. Yes, it's regrettable to hear that he has done something like this. And that's why he's getting haunted by Dr. Lead's ghost now. I find it rather doubtful. Regardless, he's definitely being haunted by the owner of this place. And how that shook out. You think we're going to find his corpse next? I would rather hope that this does not turn into a series of successive murders. A series of unfortunate events, if you will. Sorry, but I guess that's the closed room... does that say closed room rule? If you don't want it to happen, you better solve the case. Well, it is unfortunately out of my hands. Then you'll have to live with how the cookie crumbles. Perhaps not. I do have spare cookies. Haha, let's move on. I don't think there's a case to solve, but you bet I do. Closed circle rule. This was said. I mean, I think there's a case to solve, but you bet I do. Right. We presented everything! And in good time, too. This conversation's going too long. We're going to examine things now. Gotta finish questioning this man first. He might dip if I ease up. So... oh, that's one last thing to do then. You're real identity. Alright, who are you really? Pardon, I believe I told you before. I am but a humble local merchant. Didn't I tell you that lying is bad, mister? I went easy on you back there and only addressed your special case. And now you no longer get to get away with it. Let's talk about your other lies. There must be a misunderstanding. Oh, you heard me. Pretty much everything you said back then was a lie. You're not a local merchant. You don't believe in any curses. And Undercover isn't your actual name. Unsurprisingly, given the obvious disguise you're wearing. Impossible. How are you able to see through my cover? Yeah, it totally took an effort to notice that's a fake beard. Wait, what? I'm not in the least surprised you didn't have a clue. My apologies, but it appears like it is too late. I will admit that I have made an effort to conceal my real identity. I guess straight-up accusations do work sometimes. Given the situation, I suppose it is warranted to share information. I cannot let you know my real name, but but I am actually working for the government. The Federal Bureau of Investigation, to be exact. You serious, man? I can't believe I've been getting cake from an FBI agent. Just goes to show how much respect I'm in. You two are made for each other. You're both so many at your jobs. I presume you have some questions as to my purposes. You can bet on that. Very well. I will attempt to answer to the best of my ability. There's no way an FBI agent will be hanging around this place for no reason. I will station Taser to a certain situation. This will be a bit of a longer story. Perhaps you want to start? Less sweets, more sweet facts. If he is an actual FBI agent, then that kind of ruins my theory. Although, if he doesn't say his real name, he still technically could be Thornlead. And something could happen and he's ended up with the FBI somehow. My apologies, by now it is a force of habit. My assignment began around 4 years ago. 4 years ago? A 4-year-old newspaper. We already have an idea what event probably. That's when this lead guy got busted by our alien. This news was very troubling to the government. You may find it odd how a dead man could still pose a security risk. The problem was his former position in the Secret Service. Oh, you've got to be. Is everyone a secret agent here? Don't tell me you work for the CIA, man. Agent Maristella, at your service. Alice staff, can I be an SA? Sounds like too much work. Maristella, Lillian Maristella, MI6. Seriously though, soldier, doctor of psychology, secret service, member of a hitman organization. That dude sure got around, and now he's an FBI agent wearing a fake beard. I do not know what you're talking about. I can barely handle one job at a time. Mr. Lee's expertise has always been psychology. During his time in the military, he was mainly in charge of the soldiers' mental well-being. After he was done serving, he was approached by the Secret Service. With his unrivaled knowledge in criminal psychology, he was considered invaluable as a profiler. I can buy you real well how to think like a criminal. So, I think you can see why it has turned into a problem. Dr. Lee's position allowed him access to all manners of sensitive information. After his deeds came to light, the Department of Homeland Security ordered an internal investigation. You likely figured this out now, but I was sent here as a result of said investigation. My mission is to prevent any scandals and to collect any stolen government property, if identified. Does that answer your question? I'm trying to get it. There are a couple of things you could better explain to me though. Of course, feel free to ask me. Should you really be that eager to share all of this? Why not just rush the place? So from when I get here, you've been at this for 4 years. I get the impression that your investigation is kind of passive. Quite right. I have been carefully observing this book. There weren't many opportunities to investigate inside, but I did what I was able to do. That's the thing, though. Why didn't you just rush the place? Pardon, I do not follow what you're trying to suggest. Well, that's what you guys usually do, right? You go like, FBI, open up! And then you kick the door in. Maybe even the ceiling. I'm not sure that's feasible here. I'm afraid this approach would have its own unwarranted ramifications. This tower is property of a private entity. If we did as you suggest, it would be its own scam. Mrs. Holden was managing the real estate of many wealthy individuals. Individuals who would prefer the government to stay out of their business. It wouldn't just be Mr. Nellen kicking up a storm. All of her clients would have made sure the media portrayed this as scandalous as possible. Well, you could have gotten a warrant first? Seems easy enough in this case. That alternative would not have been any better. It's bad enough that a government agent turned out to be this corrupt. If it came to light he was using government resources to assist a hitman organization, well... To acquire a warrant, he would have had to admit that much. You must have noticed that trust in law enforcement is an unprecedented lows. It's pretty obvious you guys need to step it up, yeah. That's why this matter was to be handled as delicately as possible. Really though, he's a new member of a criminal organization. I feel like they should have been able to come up with some excuse to check his stuff. Right, so I was saying, because if you look at their face shape and the fact that he's wearing sunglasses, he's not, etc., it seems almost like, and they're both wearing hats too, and he could have shaved this hair off. It just seems almost perfect. I'm still going to stick with this theory, even if Lillian's like, he's telling the truth. Because maybe he is an FBI agent, but he's also investigating himself somehow. I'm too attached to this theory, this isn't the first time I've taken a theory and ran with it in a fan case, even if evidence comes up that seems to contradict it, but I won't abandon it yet. I feel like it should have been able to come with some excuse to check stuff. There's something he's keeping from me. So, you sure you should be telling me any of this? There is no need for concern. With all due respect, nobody would believe you even tried to share this conversation. Hey, this FBI agent just told me about a secret investigation. Fair. Still, I would prefer you to be discreet about my true profession. You should have worried about that before spilling the beans. Perhaps some free refreshments will appeal to your goodwill? No shot! Either way, I'm going to deny this conversation ever happened. Apologies in advance. I can have the guard back if it comes to that. Don't let the cake sway you. It can't be that good. The curse! It's starting to sound like our captor was right. These people that vanished? Don't tell me they stumbled on a government secret hidden here. I think I was supposed to have a question at the end. Oh no, it wasn't actually. That was my mistake. Did you silence them? Did you cover up the truth? And then cover up the truth with this Reaper curse story? There's been a misunderstanding. Please don't get the wrong idea. The BU2 incident happened before my mission began. I cannot make any statement about that, but I assure you, we did not kill the two unfortunate individuals who died in the subsequent years. However, it is true that I ordered the police not to reveal certain facts about those cases. I then used the circumstances of their deaths to promote the rumors of a curse. My reasoning was that this was ensure people would avoid the tower, and thus not stumble upon anything inconvenient. If the building was abandoned, then that would have been optimal for the success of my mission. Might keep superstitious locals away, but you underestimate human curiosity. I guess it didn't quite work, because that manager kept hogging the place. It's true, but we did difficult to progress. Still, as long as things stayed like that, we were content with that status quo. That change could miss Holden and also would be a public auction. I get how that could be a problem. They might have ended up straight up selling that secret stuff. Indeed, at first I tried to delay the auction, pointing to the fact that Mr. Lee is not legally dead yet. However, the property has been abandoned for too long. I could not stop them from going ahead. Instead, you tried to scare away the guards at the entrance. Yes, well, my success was limited in that regard, as you saw. So that's why you told us not to steal anything or go off to off-limits places. Because the chances of running into a secret that hadn't been found yet was higher there. Absolutely. And while the sword items would become harder to track, there would at least be a record. If anything was secretly taken, of course, we would likely never be able to find it again. Well, I can't say that I feel sorry for you. You interfere with the investigation to the deaths of two people. You know what? This guy isn't actually family. I've actually worked out who this guy is. It's Gregory Edgeworth. I mean, just look at his face, his glasses. Pretty obvious. He's being channeled by someone. Or he faked his own death. Is that theory as wild as him being fan-laid? I'll leave that to you to decide. They're both dead men, right? Your misgivings are understandable. Alas, it could not be helped. At the very least, I can assure you that we didn't help any culprit escape justice as a result. That close one still deserves to know the truth, whatever it is. The truth may not be any consolation. You too? Ugh, here we go again. In any case, I hope sharing all of this has conveyed the importance of this matter. This investigation should not be handled by civilians. If you find anything suspicious, make sure not to touch it and report it to me. I can guarantee an exquisite reward. You can't just solve everything with those. I make no promises. Nothing good will come from trying to uncover these secrets, I assure you. It is bound to lead to tragedy. I have been honest with you so far, have I not? He's obviously still hiding stuff, but the story seems to be closer to the truth than not. At least that's the vibes I'm getting. Willard said, please excuse me. This place appears to be clear, but there are still other areas I need to investigate. As I mentioned, this conversation never happened. My apologies. Government secrets? Huh. Could those be what I really was looking for? A sweets merchant? Except not really. He is actually an FBI agent in disguise, trying to secure government secrets Dr. Lee may have stolen. Hunter, I can't believe this, man. I thought we were comrades. We are still comrades, comrade. Do not underestimate the power of camaraderie. Don't tell me he was nice to me just because I can get him easy access to this place. That's rough, buddy, but that's how it goes sometimes. Most people that are nice do it because they want something. That's why true friendship is rare and precious. Well, technically, you know, I would say everyone is nice because they want something. Even if it's for true friendship, they want friends because of the human desire for social connection. Like, whenever you're having a social interaction with someone, you are trying to get something out of them, you know. If you're doing something for someone, it's selfless, but you're also getting recognition from that. And, you know, even if you don't get actual public recognition for it, if you, like, keep yourself anonymous, do something a bit subtle or discreet but still helpful, your own personal gratification, because you're like, I did the right thing. I'm going to pat myself on the back. I'm going to feel better about myself and my life. Not that that's a bad thing, of course. None of that's bad. It's just the truth. Again, that's my philosophy then, I guess. In that case, I won't give up on him. He might have approached me because of his job, but I'm sure we formed something deeper on the way. Are you sure it's not just your stomach competing against your brain? I'm totally gonna snitch. Other people might know something useful about this cover-up. At any rate, we're free to look around now. With how the trial went, there's at least one thing here I want to check out again. Just need to get it over with before this temperature kills me. And we'll get that over with next time, as well as showing Undercover to some people. That was productive. Got through a whole conversation and found out about FBI and government secrets, and we also found out a bit more about the investigation. We found some holes. We got a new piece of evidence. And yeah, that's all for today. I think I have some time to record now, but if not, you might be waiting for a bit before the next episode. So just have to say sayonara for now.